Most of the world has no idea that an ancient sacrificial system is about to be resurrected. The red heifer is ready for the purification of a priesthood that's been extinct for nearly 2,000 years. Ancient biblical prophecy is about to be fulfilled before our very eyes. The altar is ready. The priesthood is ready. The Temple Institute is ready. Believers and Jews all over the world are ready. Are you? Welcome to part 5 of things you probably haven't heard about the 2024 total solar eclipse. I hope you're sitting down. Let's get into it. The unblemished red heifer is going to be sacrificed soon, quite possibly this year. While every other sacrifice was made on the altar at the front of the tent of meeting, tabernacle, or temple, the unblemished red heifer had to be sacrificed outside of the camp. The sacrifice of the unblemished red heifer is required and commanded for the purification of the priesthood. As Passover and Feast of First Fruits approaches, remember that Yeshua sacrificed his life as the Passover lamb for the purification of his bride, who serves him as priests in his kingdom. In part 2 of this series, we learned about Melchizedek, the priest and king of Salem, who came and blessed Abram in the King's Valley. Salem was the first name of Jerusalem, and the King's Valley is now known as Kedron Valley. This is my favorite map of the King's Valley. Here is the Siloam spring, known as the Pool of Siloam. According to the Temple Institute, it's Jerusalem's original source of water. The water was used by priests, pilgrims, and natives for thousands of years. In the Torah, the children of Israel are commanded to make pilgrimage to the temple 3 times per year to observe the feasts of the Lord. This spring was used to quench their thirst and nourish their caravan as they made their ascent to the temple. The Pool of Siloam also served as a mikvah, a cleansing ritual bath taken prior to ascending into the temple. Yeshua healed a man who had been blind since birth at the Pool of Siloam. The Pool of Siloam was actually destroyed in 70 AD along with the Second Temple during the First Jewish-Roman War. Over the years, soil from the surrounding hills came down with the rainfall, covering the pool completely until it was forgotten. For the first time in 2,000 years, the Pool of Siloam is being uncovered completely. Water from the Pool of Siloam is going to be mixed with the ashes of the unblemished red heifer in the upcoming sacrifice and purification ritual. The same water used by Yeshua the Messiah to heal a blind man is going to be used to purify a priesthood blind to who he is. But where's this red heifer sacrifice and purification ritual actually taking place? The Mount of Olives, located here, is one of the most famous places in the world. This is where Yeshua the Messiah ascended into heaven 40 days after his resurrection. According to the 14th chapter of the book of Zechariah, the Lord will gather all nations against Jerusalem. The city will be captured, houses will be plundered, women will be ravished, and half of the city will be exiled. Then the Lord is going to go forth and fight against those nations. In that day, Yeshua's feet will stand on the Mount of Olives. The Mount of Olives will split down the middle from east to west, so that half of the mountain moves north and the other half moves south. That sounds like a pretty big earthquake. More on that later. The Mount of Olives actually contains the Garden of Gethsemane. This is where Yeshua was weeping and praying and sweating blood following the Passover Seder, also known as the Last Supper. After Yeshua finished praying, he found his disciples asleep. This is when the guards of the priesthood arrived, kidnapping him in the middle of the night on the order of Caiaphas, the high priest. Soon, an unblemished red heifer is going to be sacrificed on the Mount of Olives on privately owned land overlooking the Temple Mount, just above where Yeshua was kidnapped and taken to be crucified the next day. But which priest is doing the sacrifice? Moshe ben Maimon, commonly referred to as Maimonides and lovingly referred to as the Rambam, was a Sephardic rabbi and philosopher. He became one of the most influential Torah scholars of the Middle Ages. According to the Temple Institute, Maimonides ended his commentary to the Mishnah with this statement: "And the 10th red heifer will be accomplished by the King, the Messiah. May he be revealed speedily. Amen. May it be God's will." There's been a total of 9 red heifer sacrifices since the commandment was first given to Moses. Moses accomplished the first. The 10th is coming up next. And according to Maimonides, one of the most famous and well-respected rabbis to have ever lived, it's going to be accomplished by the King, the Messiah. When is the 10th and final red heifer sacrifice going to take place? I'll tell you what I think, but you have to come back for part 6. Until next time, bye!